What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody is feeling good on this Thursday morning. Now, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I want to ask you guys to like this video and also share this video. And if you're on Instagram, go ahead and give me a follow over there at Carolina Crush TV for a more connected experience. So guys, let's go ahead and get into it. And I want to talk about Donnie McClurkin because we know that a lawsuit was filed against him just a few days ago where his ex-assistant Giuseppe Corletto is accusing him of SA and R'ing him on a multitude of occasions. Now, just to give you guys a quick backstory, so Giuseppe is saying that he met Donnie McClurkin at his church back in 2003. The reason why he went to his church because he read Donnie's book at the time titled Eternal Victim, Eternal Victor, and this book was relatable to Corletto because a portion of that book covered struggling with homosexuality. So the two of them hit it off, everything becomes cool, they talk and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden Donnie McClurkin hires him as an assistant. Now shortly after that, Corletto claims that that's when Donnie started to SA and R him, and it actually started happening during a session that they were conducting called Pray the Gay Away.
Take me to the King.
Now, Corletto says that he was R'd in California where they took a trip out there and Donnie actually bought his girlfriend. And then later on, when Corletto brought up what happened, Donnie McClurkin said he doesn't remember because he was on medication. And anytime that he came to Donnie and talked about the situation, Donnie would make him feel shame and guilt or whatever. There were instances where he said that he would be in church just crying because of the things that Donnie was doing to him or whatever the case may be. So Corletto details that a situation took place in Florida. This situation took place in California, also Boston and Niagara Falls, New York. And so to be honest here, just keeping it real, not judging Corletto, it does seem that he just kept going back after he quit being Donnie's assistant in 2008. Now, Donnie and his lawyers have responded and he posted this on Instagram. So I would like to take the time to read it to you. And it says here, with all humility, faith, and deepest respect for Christ and this global gospel music and ministry community, which has shaped my life, my calling, my character, I address this letter. Many of you are aware of the profane allegations of and coercion that have been recently lodged against me. I want to state clearly and unequivocally that these allegations are contrived and untrue. I understand the weight of such false claims, especially in our community rooted in faith, trust, and the teachings of Jesus Christ, and SV in any form is a real and painful reality for many and not to be used frivolously. True survivors deserve to be heard, protected, and supported. At the same time, the truth matters and the truth has not been told. And though I know many have already formed their opinions based on initial belief and controversy, as we are apt to do with something of this false nature, I ask this community exercises patience and trust in God's timing for the truth to fully come to light. I have always sought to conduct myself with integrity, transparency, godly care, and responsibility in the fulfillment of my Christian life and duties. This accusation of salacious engagement or any misconduct that harmed, exploited, or took advantage of anyone and misused my position, leadership, or influence in any way in these false accusations is emphatically untrue. My love for and walk with Christ means everything to me and is deeply sensitive and sacred. I live to please Him, which is why it is essential that the facts be established carefully, responsibly, and fairly. Although I have not yet been served with the official legal complaint, I am proactively cooperating fully with the appropriate processes and will vigorously defend to the fullest against this defamatory and baseless lawsuit. I am confident that when the truth is fully known, I will be vindicated. Please pray for the accuser as well, seriously and sincerely. I thank everyone for their continued prayers, support, and faith. All right, so we heard that response, and that response is to be expected, right? And Donnie McClurkin could be telling the truth about this particular situation as a whole. Now, for those of you who watched the last video I did covering this story, I allude to the fact that Corletto probably didn't tell members of the church because they wouldn't believe him no way. Well, come to find out that he did talk to members and tell them about what was going on with him and Donnie, and they just didn't give a fuck, quite frankly. Check this out.
Some of the incidents that happened during the course of those 6 years happened in Atlantic City, New Jersey, Long Island, New York, Donnie McClurkin's home in New York, a park in New York, and a hotel on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And in that particular incident, the lawsuit says Corletto attempted to leave the hotel room, but the door was locked. Now, the lawsuit says Corletto did try to quit working as Donnie's assistant multiple times, but McClurkin would deny those requests and tell him his deliverance and his purpose were tied to McClurkin. According to the lawsuit, Corletto also tried to report McClurkin's conduct to church staff members, but none of the people he informed did anything.
Now, see, you have another instance here where the church can actually fail someone again. Whether this is true or not, you take it as a serious complaint and you do what needs to be done. I don't care how much you revere Pastor Donnie McClurkin. He's not exempt from any type of criticism, any type of investigations that need to be done as it pertains to this very serious allegation that Corletto has brought to the forefront. He's not exempt from none of this. You know, it's becoming more apparent in today's world that people are getting more and more afraid to do the right thing. And it's just sad. But anyway, let's move along because I want to talk about Diddy, because Diddy has his finances on lock and it's causing some issues with his lawyers, his family, so forth and so on. Now, since Diddy's been locked up, a financial management group by the name of TriStar Sports has been managing Diddy's finances. Now, I've been told personally that Janice Combs has access to certain finances and things of that nature. She has more leadway, right? Now, it's also being reported that Diddy's own kids are given a budget. Now, once they exceed that budget, they have to go through this financial management group, TriStar Sports, to recoup more funds. And sometimes it's not a given that they will get approved. They have been denied and declined on several occasions. Now, it's also being reported that there were members of Diddy's staff that have ultimately quit because they haven't received a paycheck. Now, what's crazy is that certain members of Diddy's legal team, I don't know which lawyers, but some of the lawyers have not received a paycheck either. Now, a spokesperson for Diddy by the name of Judah Engelmeyer is saying that the reports are conflicting and misleading. He's stating that personnel and attorneys are paid for approved work after routine reviews and no one is quitting. So to me, what I feel like in this particular case is that Diddy is not paying his lawyers because he's pissed about the fact that he's locked up and he still has to do 40-something months in prison. So he doesn't want to pay them their full installment. Now, another thing that I'm hearing behind the scenes, I don't have a text message today. I don't have an email that was sent to me. This is just word of mouth. So this is all alleged information. But Heavy D's girlfriend at the time when he passed away, Antonia, is stating that she is thinking about coming forward because the reports of how he died are very conflicting. She's saying that they're trying to put it on a pulmonary embolism that took place. She's saying that Heavy D died from pneumonia. Now, although Antonia is admitting that Heavy D did have heart problems, she said that the cause of his passing at first was initially ruled pneumonia, not a blood clot. They came after that and said that there was a blood clot that was found in his leg or whatever. She said, but the initial ruling was pneumonia. Now, it's also been said that a few weeks up until Heavy D passed away, that there was a conflict between Andre Harrell, Heavy D, and Diddy. And it all stemmed from something that transpired while they were at Uptown Records. We know that Andre was the founder of Uptown Records and Diddy was working as an intern before Andre ultimately fired him. And we know that Heavy D was holding it down there for quite some time. So I don't know what the nature of the conversation was there. I'm not going to sit here and make up anything. That's not what I do. I leave that for other channels to do. But there was a conversation that they were having where something or some type of information leaked out and it got back to Diddy, and allegedly Heavy D communicated to Antonia that Diddy had just threatened him. Now, I have a couple people that are in my corner that are reaching out to her to get further information, and if I get some more information, of course I'm going to present it to y'all. But anyway, let's move along, and I want to talk about Drew Dixon because she's finally getting her day in court. She filed a lawsuit against Reid in 2023 by way of the New York Adult Survivors Act because she claims that back in 2001, Reid had essayed her and more. Now, Drew worked under Reid at Arista Records, and in fact, she was the vice president of A&R. And so basically, once she turned down Reid's advances, her career within the music industry was toast. In fact, Reid was so mad because she wouldn't give it up, he blocked the signing of John Legend. And guess who's going to testify against Reid on January the 12th when they're all due in court? That would be none other than John Legend. And the reason why he's testifying is because Drew wants to show this pattern of retaliation that has been handed down by L.A. Reid when he doesn't get what he wants. Now, if you guys don't remember, Drew also filed a lawsuit against Russell Simmons, claiming that he R'd her as well. And basically, of course, you can't get to Russell Simmons because he's in a non-extradition country in Bali. So I'll be paying close attention to see how this thing unwraps in court. And again, the trial starts next week on January the 12th. L.A. Reid to face the music against his accuser, Drew Dixon. But anyway, I'm gonna let this go right here. I want you guys to feel free to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything I talked about in this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Peace.
Tough News TV. We out.